East, I have a question for you as well, but if I could start with President Trump. In the middle of Hurricane Harvey hitting on Friday night, you chose to pardon former Sheriff Joe Arpaio. I wonder if you could tell us what was behind your thinking for issuing the pardon for the sheriff, and as well, what do you say to your critics, even some in your own party, who say it was the wrong thing to do?
Well, a lot of people think it was the right thing to do, John. And actually, in the middle of a hurricane, even though it was a Friday evening, I assumed the ratings would be far higher than they would be normally. You know, the hurricane was just starting. And I put it out that I had pardoned, as we say, Sheriff Joe. He's done a great job for the people of Arizona. He's very strong on borders, very strong on illegal immigration. He is loved in Arizona. I thought he was treated unbelievably unfairly when they came down with their big decision to go get him right before the election voting started, as you know, and he lost in a fairly close election. He would have won the election, but they just hammered him just before the election. I thought that was a very, very unfair thing to do. When I mentioned him the other night, you saw the massive crowd we had. The people went crazy when I said, "What do you think of Sheriff Joe?" or something to that effect. The place went absolutely crazy when I was in Arizona last week. And as far as pardons are concerned, I actually did this just before the meeting because I assumed that somebody would ask me the question. I didn't know it would be you, as you can attest. You didn't even know you were going to be called. But I thought I would. And, you know, Sheriff Joe is a great veteran of the military, great law enforcement person, somebody that's won many, many elections in the state of Arizona. But I wanted to look at some of the other people that were pardoned over the years. And if you look at, as an example, President Clinton pardoned Mark Rich, who was charged with crimes going back decades, including illegally buying oil from Iran while it held 53 American hostages, wasn't allowed to do that, selling to the enemies of the United States. He was pardoned after his wife donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to the Clintons. Then you have dangerous criminals. President Clinton pardoned Susan Rosenberg, a member of the weathered underground, charged as part of a bank robbery that led to a guard and 2 police officers being killed. Drug dealers. President Clinton commuted the sentence of Carlos Vignali, a central player in a cocaine ring that stretched from California to Minnesota. Criminal leaker. You've heard the word leaker? President Obama commuted the sentence of Chelsea Manning, who leaked countless sensitive and classified documents to WikiLeaks, perhaps and others. But horrible, horrible thing that he did, commuted the sentence, and perhaps pardoned. President Obama commuted the sentence of Oscar Lopez Rivera, who was charged as part of a violent independence group from Puerto Rico, responsible for 28 Chicago area bombings and many deaths in the 1970s and 1980s. Sheriff Joe is a patriot. Sheriff Joe loves our country. Sheriff Joe protected our borders. And Sheriff Joe was very unfairly treated by the Obama administration.
What you heard was number 45 basically doubling down on what he said. He stands by Sheriff Joe. And this guy was doing something illegal. He was racially profiling is what he was doing. He was told to stop. He didn't want to stop. He didn't even want to listen to the orders that was given to him because what he was doing was against the law. But yet this is a law and order president. Do you see the hypocrisy? It's disgusting. There is no law. This is the Wild West. This is whoever has the most guns and power. They just rule as they see fit. They don't even follow their own laws and commands that they give down and they sign. I mean, honestly, all of this bullshit, right down to the Constitution, is just ink on paper. None of it has ever been honored, ever. It only comes up when it is serving them. Now, the only thing that is amazing about this is his lace front. But other than that, nothing else is surprising about what he did. He did it in the dark of night when there was a storm going on, when people were looking left. He went ahead and pardoned this bigot. It's just like, if people can't see the writing on the wall, I don't know why. With all of the Black Republicans who have been crying about their number 45, is unbelievable that they didn't see this coming. I don't understand, especially with the platform he ran on, the words that came out of his mouth, which shows me like people don't listen. Like, that is a true statement. People don't listen when people are talking. Like, I know people lie to you, but you can find the truth there, especially when they think they're in power, they've gained power, they have the upper hand. They are going to implement whatever it is that they want. And they then get bold and they start telling you the truth. He had to justify what he did by listing who the horrible witch Hillary Clinton, all of the people that she pardoned. And then, we always have to use Obama, who they call a black man, which he's biracial, black man who was in the White House. I mean, the fact that Obama and his family was in that White House will haunt them for the rest of their lives. And it will be a scary story passed down by their children to their children. I'm not surprised by what he's doing. He has aligned himself with the alt-right. He's aligned himself with white nationalists. He pardoned a racial profiler. He said he was going to make America great again, which means taking it back to a great time. And Jim Crow was 50 years ago. So, I mean, he has been honest about what he is doing and what he is. He is not going to come out and say that he wants to lynch a nigger. He's not going to say that on tape. He is not going to put that out to the public so they can use that against him. He's not going to do it. And people think that because it's not us sitting at a picnic watching several dead bodies hang on a tree, or burning several people, maiming and ripping them apart, killing them, cutting chunks of flesh out of them, making them out of product, because there's no whips and people are not being beat. They think that, oh, we're beyond this. This country is as rotten as it has ever been. This country was started with slave labor. It was okay to do inhumane things to human beings. And this country now, today, is maintained by slave labor. And it is okay to do inhumane things to human beings. So nothing has changed. It's underhanded and deviant behavior to have a constitution that still says we as a nation can put anybody we want in slavery, but to say this is a free nation and we don't practice that anymore, and it's despicable. Plus, there has been no reparations paid, and this is why this is happening, because the mask had to be ripped off. You know, people were in La La Land thinking everything was okay for some reason, even though they're suffering. A lot of people are dying. I'm not going to talk down about Black people collectively, because a lot of Black people are tired of trying to fight a damn army that has advanced weaponry with a 9mm handgun. That's the equivalent of what's going on here. And a lot of people are tired, worn out. They don't have any more energy and strength to fight this beast, is what it is. It's a beast. Number 45 is head spearing this country coming from underneath the cloak that it's been hiding, so it can actually bully other nations and say, we're not like that. We're going to take over. So since they feel like they're close to taking over, they said, okay, let's go ahead and be our normal, disgusting, discriminating, bigoted, racist, filthy selves. And let's enjoy and wallow in it. But, I mean, after this pardon, you should definitely know what number 45 is. And, I mean, he's made it apparent who he is. And he is not lying. And this is not a clone. And this is not an Illuminati puppet. This is who this person is. This is how they really feel. And no amount of Alex Jones conspiracy is going to cover this nation in a fake cloak again. So I'll go ahead and leave it there. Let me know what you think about this fuckery from number 45, and I will see you in the next one.